Texas has the highest diversity of bats of any state. And so anybody who loves wildlife should try to make time or find the opportunity to see these bats emerge. It's always really fun. In the face of this terrible disease, there's suddenly a lot of attention going to bats.
Bats have been maligned for thousands of years. Most people don't have any contact with bats, so what they know about them is what they've seen on TV. And most of the time on TV, especially if it's Hollywood, they're blood-sucking monsters.
Animal bats, the kind that fly?
People think all bats have rabies, and they don't.
It says some of them bats is rabid.
They're not carriers. If a bat gets sick with rabies, it dies.
Well, and that ain't all.
People think bats are blind. None of our species of bats are blind.
It was full of what looked like huge bats.
Besides using echolocation to navigate and hunt for their food, they're also using their eyesight. So bats aren't blind. A lot of people think bats will get in their hair. So we dispel that myth.
I think a lot of people are afraid of bats because they don't know much about them. And like most things, the more you learn about them, the more interesting they become, the less scary they become. And quickly we begin to realize that bats are actually quite beneficial to humans. Texas is really special for bats. We have the largest congregations of bats in the entire world. People travel all over the world to see Bracken Bat Cave, Old Tunnel State Park, Congress Street Bridge. It's a wildlife phenomenon in Texas. The majority of bats wake up as we're going to bed, and they'll go eat insects. And they eat huge, huge, huge numbers of insects. There's actually a long history of people working with bats and benefiting from bats.
From March to October, bats are going to eat tons of bugs. Those are primary agricultural pests in the area, so you have cotton boll moth, the corn earworm moth, army cutworm. Because of that, farmers, one, don't have crop damage, two, don't have to spray a lot of pesticides on their crops to kill those bugs.
If you like bananas or chocolate or tequila, you can think of bat.
So this is where we're at, or at the entrance here?
Here in North America, we got 47 different species of bats, and here in Texas, we have 33 different species. In these caves, they're all hibernating bats. We've got like 4 species that we generally encounter. Cave myotis, the tricolored bat, the big brown bat, and Townsend's big-eared bat. They all generally like these cold, stable caves. It makes it easy for them to hibernate, and each one of them has unique requirements.
Cave environments are extremely sensitive. They are tied in with underground aquifers and water systems. They oftentimes have endemic species or species that are only found in that one spot. And cave systems have very few nutrients. There's very little input of nutrients coming into those systems.
We've been counting the number of bats within each of these caves, identifying the species, and collecting swab samples to contribute to this greater national white nose surveillance effort.
White nose syndrome.
White nose syndrome.
What is this white nose syndrome?
It's called white nose syndrome.
White nose syndrome.
The deadly white nose syndrome.
White nose syndrome is a devastating disease. It is a new disease, first detected in the winter of 2006-2007. And I can even remember those first random emails going through the bat community chain, pictures of these bats with this fungus on their nose. Does anybody know what this fungus is? Nobody knew because it was brand new. It's caused by a cold-loving fungus, Pseudogymnoastis destructans, or PD. That fungus is not native here to America. Our North American bats have no adaptations to respond to it, and consequently it's devastating them.
Bats that are susceptible to white nose tend to share a common trait in that they all hibernate. Hibernation for a bat, there's a very narrow budget of energy that they're trying to make last for many months. So the way that white nose hurts them is by irritating their skin while they're hibernating. And just the process of waking up, cleaning off your wings and fidgeting around a little bit burns off critical energy, and the result is starvation.
We've lost at least 5.7 million bats, probably more. The fungus or the disease is now found in 30 US states and 5 Canadian provinces. And we see devastating population declines wherever it goes. Some bats are very severely impacted by it, and we see almost total population collapse.
It has since spread kind of out from that spot down the southeastern part of the country and worked its way towards Texas at about a rate of 200 miles per year. Based on predictive models for how the disease was going to spread, it appeared that it was going to be funneled through the panhandle of Texas into the western states. We had clear battle lines drawn. We knew which direction the enemy was advancing. All of a sudden, to have it show up in Washington state, now it's coming from behind us as well. It's definitely not encouraging, and it is actually quite alarming. The challenge of treating white nose syndrome is much more complicated than just treating the disease. We can't just think about curing the bat of the disease. We also have to be aware of potential impacts to the cave ecosystem. If we sprayed a fungicide or some major disruptive chemical into a cave, we just don't know how that might impact the system. So the plan in Texas is to take advantage of this window of opportunity we have now to learn as much as we can about bats before the disease gets here, and be prepared if an opportunity to apply some kind of treatment arises. And luckily we have a lot of smart researchers working on solving that problem, but I think we still have a long ways to go. Nature is so incredibly complex that the more we look, the more we learn with pretty much any species. Each species of bat is unique, fills a specific niche, and we have so much to learn from them. The loss of any one of these species is a real tragedy.